What's going on, everybody? Xo603 here. So we are here at Sarasota Power Sports, and they have just gotten the new ZX10 2026. And what do we think about it? It has the new winglets, and actually, I gotta say, for pictures, the pictures don't do this bike justice. This bike is just totally phenomenal and beautiful. Granted, they did not change a lot. The bike hasn't been turned on because it's like brand new, straight out the box. They haven't put a battery in it, but I will say one thing I did notice about this bike, even though everything's pretty much the same, as you see in the taillights, everything, the rear sets, the swing arm, but the tank, I believe, is different. Whereas I feel like the rear sets are a little different, where your knees are up in the tank, more aggressive seating position. But I feel like in older ZX10s, the seat was definitely like with the tank, it was more of a hump here. I didn't really like it, but this actually I like. It's actually really nice and comfortable when you sit on it. Very beautiful. Also too, they did change the stabilizer up here. One thing I did notice is you have so much room down in here now versus before, which is crazy. You could fit your whole hand in here. Also too, another thing is I did notice these remind me of the H2s, where you have the H2 on the sides here with all the carbon fiber like mine has. So really cool, really beautiful. Like I said, I wasn't sure how I like this, but I do like the winglets, and I like it more than R1M. As you know, with the R1M, they just bolted it in, and it didn't really sit right. It just looked like they just threw it on, and it was cheap. But this, they actually integrated. Of course, I like the ZX6, in with the body, which is very beautiful, very nice. I actually really do like this bike, and it's really sharp. I actually think it's probably my new favorite daily bike that I would like to get, other than a BMW M1K in the white. Now, of course, with this bike, you're not going to have your I believe, yeah, you're not going to have your heated grips. Yeah, I don't see it here, but I do see you have your cruise control, you have your modes. Yeah, I don't think, reset, yeah, you don't have your heated grips, high beams, everything, blinkers. But like I said, though, as a daily, another thing I will say is your whole throttle, I feel like it's too long. Now, you see how I'm doing it? Now, definitely it engages right there. Not like my H2, like you used to turn it at the quarter turn, it fully engage. But this, I feel like it's a little too long. Let's just show you here on the Busa. You can see, I think the Busa is a little longer. Yeah, it's a little longer in frame. Yeah. Well, let me see because I like bikes where you have like a short throttle response, kind of like the H2. Yeah, that's way too much play. Also too, we got the Brembos on here, which is really nice. So as you know, with the previous gens and models, they've come with they're for the ZX10RR. So now we are getting them on the regular ZX10. So very beautiful bike. I rode over here to come see it and wanted to see it because I saw pictures of it, and I was like, let me see if pictures do it justice or not. And obviously pictures do not do this bike justice. It is just such a beautiful, phenomenal looking bike. And like I said, it's very aggressive. I actually love that. It reminds me of how aggressive the H2 is, actually. And actually, the one thing I will point out is that it's even similarly more aggressive than the ZX6. And that's what I was really curious to see. Would it be like a ZX6, or would it be, its own bike? And honestly, the front end is its own bike. And it's going to throw a lot of people off when you're riding this, because a lot of people are going to see it and be like, oh, it's just a ZX6. And then you're going to get on it and you're going to be gone. So now, of course, we don't have any ZX. Actually, wait a minute. Do we have a ZX6? Oh, we do have a ZX6 here. We can compare real quick. So let me show you the look here. So there's the ZX10, and we'll walk down here and we'll see these ZX6s. They have, two left? As you know, when I was here before, they had like, I don't know, 5. Here we go. So how do you think? We can compare it kind of. I mean, if they were side by side, it would look be a lot better of a comparison. But now we can see it, though. He had the blinkers here on the ZX6. The front end just looks a whole lot smaller. Of course, the air duct is a lot different on the ZX10. I'd say the whole windscreen's a lot different. Remember the piece here that I was telling you about? A lot different. You know, you still have room down in here, but a whole lot different. But just comparing the front end though, you know, taking in, also too, we got this one here. So you can kind of see more of a babier feel with the ZX6 compared to the ZX10. So yeah, it's very interesting. Also too, you know, so there's some ways you could tell difference, you know. And one thing I will say is that if any of you all plan on doing the winglets on the ZX6s, as you can see with the ZX10, it's fully integrated in with the fairing, you know, not fully bolted on like the R1M. So it's going to be very hard to replicate it. So that's going to be a huge question, because let's go back here to the ZX10. And like I said, you see it's flows, how the winglets come in, they connect here, they connect down there. So it's going to be really hard to really replicate that on the ZX6s. But this bike does look phenomenal and beautiful. Now I know, I don't think it's sold, they just got it in. So if y'all definitely want to check it out, Sarasota Power Sports, they have it here. So definitely be sure to check them out. Like I said, the new 2025 ZX10, it is really beautiful. And like I said, this would be a great daily. You know, one thing I will say is, of course, BMW, the S1K or M1K. M1K would be more my style, but the, you know, for if you're thinking about price and everything, I think you're going to get the all-out performance on this bike, and the peel of it just looks amazing. You're gonna love it. You're gonna always be in love with this bike, and the gunmetal gray looks phenomenal on this bike. So be sure definitely to check it out at your local Kawasaki dealerships. Yeah, it looks totally phenomenal and beautiful. And like I said, looks like it's super easy to work on. And like I said, you just have so much room down in here. So yeah. And then of course we got the two boosters still here. We got the white and blue one and the black and red one. So, and also too, I'll point this out too, the new color on the red and the white, so beautiful. And I'm waiting for them to get in. I think they're getting one R1 in with this red and white. So I'm curious to see how that looks, especially going back to the anniversary color. That just looks so phenomenal. And before I cap off the video, I do want to go down here to this, what's it, the R7, is it R7 or R9? What was it, R9, right? With the headlight in the center? Yeah, R9. And like I said, this is, you know, as close as we're going to get in the future once they do away with the R1 of a full-on track bike from Yamaha. Unless they continue with the Yamaha and they bring in the the V4. Again, tank is a lot wider. Not a fan of that. And like I said, the throttle, a lot shorter throttle. You can see that in my play there. But yeah, and as you can see, this is the 70th anniversary, and they give you a nice little sticker there thing. So yeah, and then we also had the Gixxer 600s, which, like I said, I'm not a fan of the cat headlight, but I'm a fan of the colors, which I'm waiting to see the Gixxer in this color, the new ones with the winglets. And that's another bike that I will say, I'm curious to see if pictures do it justice. And then we go back to the ZX6, and like I said, now you can see the difference between the ZX6s. Like I said, the front end is going to be very hard to replicate it with the ZX10. You know, it's going to throw some people off, but if they know what they're looking at and for, they'll know the difference. And like I said, one thing I will point out is that here, the windshield, the front cowling, definitely a lot shorter, a lot smaller, a lot more compact than the ZX10. The ZX10, as you can see here, it's just even a lot more, you know, a lot more face to the bike. So y'all be sure to check out Sarasota Power Sports. They have a lovely collection here. One of the dealerships I found since I moved to Sarasota area that is very beautiful and lovely to come to. Be sure to see Brennan right at the front desk. He'll take care of you. Y'all have a wonderful day and night wherever you are. Peace, love, joy. Remember, the world is as evil as it is. No need to be hateful, spiteful, jealous, none of that stuff. Just be loving and caring. So y'all, I'll leave you with this beautiful view of the 2026 ZX10R. Later.